didn't get to start off, right? They had a forfeit win, which advanced them, which is nice. But at the same time, that's time they could have been warming up or getting ready at this HSEL level where there's so much hot competition constantly to keep up with. You'd think that they would have this slow start, but indeed it's the Cybercats of Comac High who are looking to try to get back on track, and this is a good way to do it. It's to play back behind the defense. That chase strategy continues here. Is now back into the hands of the Colts, who will push forward yet again, led by Estrayum, who did a great job of playmaking in game number 1. And Sidorek trying to match that energy is left there, and Just Sacred had a chance to get a shot off. Unfortunately, the shot went well wide. It'll be left there in the back line there for Lime Wolf. But no one tended to target there on that outlet pass ever. That'll be left to center and right back on it are the Colts.
And now Colts going the other way. Can't find anything. And again, it's just more back and forth early here. Isham, a good look, just can't find it. And again, it just feels like for the Cybercats, they're just a little behind, a little bit slower than the pressure the Colts are applying.
Quick turn there for Big Boy as he's trying to play it in, but got a little bit timid there as you saw him turn back after that initial touch. Icy already up for it here, too. Good touch down. That'll be difficult for the defense, but they handled it well, at least for the time being. And now, Astrium out with the purpose. Now back on it as well. Keeps his flip in the back pocket. Will break through the Colts defense and make it 1-0 here for the Cybercats.
As I believe Astrium is on the Colts. Yes, Astrium is on the Colts. Our graphic got flipped there.
I see. 100%. We'll look to get that fixed here for you momentarily as you continuously see them jump on these games. I was kind of wondering, in game number 1 if that was the case. So we continue to play on. Blades are now on track in just a moment. So now that we know that little bit of piece of information, it definitely makes a lot of sense. But that's a quick answer back there. So Icy able to tap it in. Regardless, they continuously move forward here. Big Boy just couldn't quite do enough to get it out to that corner.
And honestly, I think Big Boy was just trying to do too much, trying to place it in too much of a perfect spot in the corner, rather than worrying of just getting the ball out of the way, outside the hash marks, we'll say.
Now you see Astrium yet again try and challenge. It just seems like they get into the face of this team. So it continuously just pestering, and there's no way around it. But this time around, Astrium just allowed the chance to get a touch, but Sacred right back on it now. So he's got the touch. To the corner, tries to get past Big Boy, well shielded there in the corner. And it's going to play out to the other side. Left out there in the box, and to scramble for it in a double commit. A chance for Sacred to step up. He leaves it for Icy as this one will hit back wall, fall back down. And now they try to escape out. But again, the pressure mounts. So we've seen a great pressure both ways in both of these games. A much even game because of it.
Even game really feels like deja vu from game number 1. However, the Cybercats able to play a little bit stronger defense here. And it's really keeping them in it, but I haven't seen the offensive pressure to match the Colts so far.
100%. So we're still looking to get those nameplates switched for you. We'll let you know when those are updated and ready to go. Right now, both teams even here. Big Boy takes a shot on, but ISU was ready for that. Did not really challenge much as they're back defensively and ready in position there. Sits back. It's Icy. Turn back. Big Boy, the bouncer will find its way through. So one that didn't look very threatening, but still able to find a little bit of room there. And so the Colts will go up 2-1.
And Sacred just a little too passive. Wasn't really sure what he wanted to do. Let that ball bounce past him. Hits that 45-degree wall in the corner, and it kicks right out in front of a Colts player who was ready to bury that one home. Lime Wolf makes it 3-1. And they're just pouring it on now.
Certainly are. Yeah, the Colts are definitely proving why they have been a strong team all season long. And not saying that the Colts haven't been, but the Cybercats have definitely been just a little bit better, just edging out the, you know, the Cybercats in just a little bit of too much to handle kind of scenario here. So in Cedric, again, shielded by Big Boy, who continues to be that nuisance. Lime Wolf already up early as well.
Good pass.
Astrium also gets a shot off, too. Great pass, great follow-up as well. Sacred left, just wondering what to do with this one. We'll play the low 50-50, and that's a good cut behind one of the defenders of Cybercats. But a constant, or the Colts, rather. One thing to note about the Colts here in orange, number one, we will get those nameplate switch, but also we want to just every single, player supports one another. They're always there in support. If one player misses, constantly that rotation comes in. But look as the Cybercats will pull it back within one. Plenty of time left on the clock here.
As just a plethora of players. Well, give credit to Sacred on that pass. It was a good read off the backboard. 12 seconds to go. We have seen crazier things happen. Not out of the woods yet.
We'll have to make quick work of it, and it's good that they're pushing forward, but Lime Wolf with a big touch, but it's still not out of the zone. Icy will tap it down. Unfortunately, couldn't find Incideric, and now they'll have to keep it up in the air. They aren't able to do it as much as they'd like, and it will be...
yourself out.
I can definitely count on one hand the amount of bumps and demos that we've seen in this series. And it just makes a whole lot of sense, especially in a tight series, to get them out of your way, for sure. And, when you have a little bit of a lack of support system sometimes, you can expose. That's one way to really combat a strong rotation is by jumping out, especially if you're, within the play's reach. If you're on your way back in rotation, if you're not part of the play, that would be the time to really get that bump and then fall directly back for that type of support. So I agree with you completely. All right, now we'll see as Astrium holds back and just Sacred able to challenge him really quickly. We'll leave Lime Wolf on the back wall, but Big Boy was up there with him. To have that double commit on the back wall is not something you want to see.
A little bit scary as the Colts kind of get their wires crossed. Seems to have sorted itself out. Sacred going to have to force put it off his own crossbar, as it just feels like the Cats have just been pinned to their own goal line by the Colt pressure.
Yeah, it's been kind of the default is to worry, right, and fall back to that level. And so I think they would actually benefit from getting out, making quick challenges, right, and not allowing the Colts to get those passes off, or at least intend to break through where the Cybercats are looking for. More anticipation would be great. And right now it looks like they're doing a great job to at least create chances for themselves. As in Cedric will push it right back to the box. Sacred was there, far side, couldn't find it though. And now Big Boy right back out of the zone. Look out, in transition. Had Atrium on the back wall as well. And now they'll fall back as the Colts had a great opportunity there in transition, but they might catch themselves a little bit too far forward. They do. And that's where you're calling for that physicality. Opened it up for Icy.
And demos are, sometimes people aren't a fan, there wasn't even a bump, it just forced Big Boy away from the ball as he tried to avoid it. And sometimes that works too. If you chase a player, chase them out of an area you want to go, you still free up the space. Cybercats are not going to complain. They get the early lead for the first time this series. We'll see if they can extend it.
Yeah, it's got to be a good relief because no team really wants to play from behind consistently. I know a best of 7 is a long series, but the last thing you want to do is, go down 0-3, have to work your way back in a reverse sweep, but not only that, but have to dig out every single game. And this time, they've really pieced something together. Just Sacred with that Finnick able to tap it past the last defender. As again, that double commit, they just couldn't quite find the touch out. And that's what'll happen when you make the defense feel a little bit awkward.
Yeah, it just got awkward is the probably best word I would have used. As Big Boy just couldn't get a strong touch to get that ball out of, or just away from the net, as it just kind of coughed up in the low slot. Cybercats able to find the back of the net, have a 2-goal lead. They're down 0-2 in the series. So they're looking all right, but I'd say with the pressure we've seen from the Colts, they're going to need more than 2 to win this.
That's right. I mean, the Cybercats have put in that much pressure where you're starting to think that might be the case. Now, the thing is, we've seen the Colts try good. Reactionary save, though, from Icy. Well, they recover on that because that was a shot and a half from the Colts looking to bounce back as they might have woken up the Colts as of late. It seems like they definitely started to come back at him here. Exactly. Poke the Colts, as we'll call it this time around.
Oh, exactly. There it is. Good read from A-Strum. Just waterfalls down off the backboard. And he's right there on the follow. Sacred just flat-footed and net. Not really ready to make an attempt for the save. Colts get back within 1 with more than enough time.
Yeah, and that was one of those situations where you want to at least, find a different angle towards that. That's not quite the place you want to be. And so if your rotation is off, that's fine. If your positioning is off a little bit, but you have to kind of adjust accordingly. So I'd like to see, maybe a different position there, maybe from the side of the net to try and challenge that. Or if you're desperate there in the net, try to turn around, use the ceiling of the net itself, maybe to make a save there too. And so I think creativity will go a long way at this level for sure, as Astrium almost looking to strike through. The Cybercats were able to dig it out, but maybe just temporarily as they're still in harm's way. Here's Astrium again. Will hold back. Bumped off it, though. Good physicality from the Cybercats defensively this time, and they'll look to push in off of that momentum they were able to gain from that one play. And now a mistake on the back end, but Icy again. He has been huge defensively to bail the Cybercats out one chance after another.
A lot of what I'm seeing here in the final minute and a half from the Colts is that they're really just letting Astrium do whatever he wants, and the 2 other players will just orbit around him. And he's going to find the back of the net anyways, as I didn't think the ball was anywhere near him.
I didn't either. I mean, that was just, it seemed like it was not going to fall through, or at least, it shouldn't with that much time that it was bouncing. But, I mean, credit Astrium for knowing that the defense was not going to get there. And as a third man, you typically want to stay a little bit farther back in case, they chip it out defensively. But he was that confident and jumped on it as well. One of the things that makes a team truly great is the ability to not only play with the lead, right, and be comfortable whenever you have a lead, but also be able to dig yourself out when you create a little bit of a hole for yourself. And the Colts have shown that they can do both. But they do want to close out here to force match point early.
Oh, that's really a bad whiff.
Opportunity. Little bit wide. Now Lime is just going to let this hit the ground wisely, and the Colts will play into overtime here with a chance to move to match point.
A lot of pressure. I'd say there's more pressure on the Colts here as they're looking to go to match point. As they want to end this here and now, they're able to bounce back here in Game 3 after being dominant in the first 2.
Yeah, making it, a lot more pressure for them to really take it back. Because if they allow Cybercats to win this, suddenly that momentum
big swing
potentially shift. Exactly. And early in this game, I think we already saw a little bit of it. So credit the Cybercats for creating that in the first place. But when you have whiffs like that, you have to be careful, because especially when the Colts have been creating chances as well. Icy will play a back pass, which we've seen multiple times here from the Cybercats. Something they're going to have to be careful with. Oh, that's a good idea.
We had a backwards rule 1 on the goal line. I don't know if anyone saw that. They were spoiler to spoiler, just sitting in reverse.
Well, who broke it? That's obviously bad news. We'll get you the details on that in chat. Definitely.
Whoever loses this game is the one who broke it. I think that's what it comes down to.
100%. We're going to find out soon. It's nice. We'll obviously decide it. For those of you in here, Rocket League, it is a sudden death situation in overtime. This time it's been played a minute and a half in. And Astrium with a crafty touch there. It's over. Big Boy had a chance, but couldn't quite finish. Lime Wolf looking far side. Perhaps a pass attempt there for Big Boy, who did have to fall back in rotation. Smart move to play defensively, but the Cybercats back on it. The bouncer almost recovers, but it won't matter. The Cybercats have won their first one here in the series in overtime.
And this is going to come back to A-Strim making a very aggressive challenge as the third man. Neither of his teammates could get back in time. And then we see the Cybercats transition from defense to offense, finding the back of the net. Just like that. As the 9 shots to 8, so both teams getting plenty of opportunity, but it just slips away from you. And I couldn't say there's been countless times where I've had a 3-goal, a 4-goal lead in the game. I've let it slip away. And you go to overtime and you're just demoralized because you should be at the main menu at this point. You shouldn't be playing overtime to try to win a game you should have won. Speaking of, Cybercats back where they left off.
Yeah, they continuously press forward. So, again, they had a hot start in game number 3, and they won. So, it wasn't exactly how they wanted to win, right? It took them a little bit of time, but getting that hot start definitely helped them to keep up and keep with it. And so, definitely a positive here for the Cybercats to get that start. I think that's how they want to play, is with the lead, and so it's been very evident that has helped them. Ooh. We'll see if that continues here as Astrium plays across his net to try and play defensively. That one popped out in front. Took him a little bit of time there, but Big Boy will eventually jump on it here for the Colts, and they'll move out here early in game number 4.
That's a tough whiff there from Lime. Doesn't seem like no harm, no foul. But to me, it feels like the Colts have just kind of let off gas in the slightest. As Lime Wolf going to get beat behind him.
Yeah, Icy just showed that speed, beat Big Boy. Oh my, he was pushing forward, had so much trust in his team to keep it offensively that he wanted to push forward and, be a presence there to continuously put that pressure on that we've seen from the Colts in the first 2 games. But wasn't 100% sure that they were going to get out. I mean, in his mind, they were. But since that was the case, Carr angled a little bit inwards to try and get his circular rotation going offensively, and that's what happened. It looks like it just got behind him before he was able to react and maybe power slide over to it.
And now it feels like the script is really flipped here for the Cybercats, as they're the one putting all the pressure on.
Definitely. I mean, right now they've gotten the early goals. Icy trying to do it again. Good reactionary save there for the Colts. Because the second they let this go to 3-0, that's much more difficult in my eyes than this 2-0. Because for the Colts, they proved that they were able to beat that 2-goal deficit, or at least get back in the game because of it. You go down 3-0 and it might feel a little different.
His 2 Colt players tried to jam that one beneath the crossbar, couldn't find anything.
Big Boy left with it. The sidewall tries to ramp it up, find a teammate in Lime Wolf, who will tap it right back down. Astrium back to it, tries to find the read, almost got it too, by the way, as he tried to chip it back towards the net. But 3 members of the defense for Cybercats were there to try and catch it in case it got through. So this one will play cross pitch, as Astrium's forced up to use a lot of the boost. In fact, everything out of his tank, as he's got to try to get the next challenge. Sacred knew that, played it low, but it won't matter because Big Boy was there in support yet again. And that support from the Colts that we saw happen so often in the first couple of games. Astrium's got some room. Does chip it past Sacred, but it was in Cedric. Ready for it on the other side. Lime Wolf over to Astrium. Someone play the back wall, but Icy was there. Running in that position as Big Boy waits the whiff, and now he'll push it forward. Astrium, he taps it past the last defender, but it did force it wide in the process over to the corner where Icy can get to it.
It was a good look from Astrium, just kind of do the dirty work, get a greasy goal for his team, as they need one here, down by 2, under 2 to go.
Got to get to the dirty areas, as they say in hockey.
Exactly.
Get deep, right? Get physical. Right, get out of it.
Speaking
Make it a
of,
pitch. Oh, almost worked down off the post.
You're kidding me.
That's what they needed. Unfortunately for them, the fortune did not favor them in this instance like it had been in the first 2 games. Interesting to me how that happens to work out in the favor of the Cybercats, who will hold on. And I mean, for the Colts, does it get more frustrating in your eyes for them, or is this a sign that there are good things coming, at least in the next couple of games?
I mean, it depends on really the mentality of your team. If you keep on the pressure, keep doing what is tried, tested, and true, and you know it works, keep at it. The wall's going to break down eventually. You can knock on the doors as much as you want. You know it's going to break down.
And
Colts, they're able to do that right here.
Yep. Got
to do it again.
And
now it's the same song and dance as the last game.
That's right. And it really proved your point that they were able to break through, right? You said it right on cue. And so they'll continue to try and do that. As I see Will play, push forward, trying to kill some time here. But if the second you try to sit back on your heels and just try to ride this one out, the more chances you'll see from the Colts. And they get the bump too. Oh, yep. They're able to equalize. And you felt it coming whenever the Cybercats were playing a little bit defensively, that the Colts were going to press through, and the physicality comes through yet again.
Well, there's the demo, and we talked about getting a greasy goal, a goal in the dirty areas of the pitch. We've kind of checked both boxes so far this game. We're tied up once again. And for the Cybercats, you got to feel like you're living a nightmare. As the same thing has happened 2 games in a row. You go up by 2 and you lose the lead late. Icy can't finish. And for the Cybercats, you're just looking to end it here and now.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to play into overtime again. It favored you once. May not happen again, especially the way the Colts have been bringing it on. It's more of a convincing. They're able to equalize, and sure enough, with 17 seconds left, that's 3 in a row for the Colts, and Atrium able to put them on top.
Atrium has just really played lights out, and when his team really needs him, he steps up. So for Big Boy and Lime Wolf, they kind of just orbit around Atrium rather than having a traditional 3-man rotation, if that makes sense, where they just kind of let Atrium do whatever he wants, and it works out.
Yeah, it just seems like they've taken this game by the horns, and they'll get another shot off, but Incideric will be allowed the chance to at least keep it up for now. We'll tap it high. Icy needs to get to it. Couldn't. So close, but not able to do it. Coral Springs will win this game here and move to match point 3-1 after the Cybercats did such a good job establishing a lead, not only in the last game, but this time around too. A team that's 7-1, full-time confidence, and just proved to themselves as well, in addition, that they're able to dig themselves out of deficits and win the game in addition to that. I mean, that's just proving that Colts can basically be in any game, no matter what the scoreline is early on.
And I question a substitution this late as you have to rebuild the chemistry in such a short amount of time, as I believe it's Kaifi stepping in on the side of the Sabercats. We'll see what he can do and what could potentially be the last game of the season.
It's a big move. Kaifi comes in. Maybe they saw something, or, obviously, as listed as part of the roster, they know that there is a certain style that they play. Whenever you bring in the new third, we'll see if it makes a difference here. If the Cybercats look any different, maybe later in the game, it could be just the fact that they want consistent shots throughout. One of the things I will credit the Cybercats with was 2 games ago, everybody got on the scoreboard, right? Their 3 goals came from every individual, and so it seemed like they already had all 3 working. But maybe they want to just focus on, feeding the hot hand here and getting somebody new on the pitch to try and throw maybe a curveball to the Colts in a 3rd man back that hasn't been seen quite yet.
So far, I'd call it a boring game of Rocket League. Not a whole lot going on, just kind of going back and forth.
Sure.
No real solid chances either.
Continue that way. Looks like they're even pressing towards the back wall, right? And there's nothing there. IC will go high. Ify didn't really have much of a chance to it, but tried to get that read anyways. That shot didn't look like anybody was out for the challenge for the Colts. Yeah, the Cats. I mean, they were looking to bounce forward and really force the hands of the Colts to make a defensive save that maybe could have been avoided if they challenged a little bit earlier. But the Cats, I mean, credit them for recognizing that.
Yeah, for the Cats, they're trying to catch the Colts on their push back, on their retreat. Haven't really found an open lane just yet. But it's a different strategy. That's a good shot from Kaifi again, just high. Crossbar going to help out Coral Springs here, halfway through game number 5. And Lime Wolf going to put the Colts back on the board.
Yeah, Big Boy was just there to be a nuisance, got that touchback down, and Lime Wolf was there to collect the loose change as it bounced down. And that's not something we've seen, from Cybercats very often, right? Is a double commit there defensively that this is kind of left there, right? That loose change that they were able to collect. But now they'll get it right back. Just Sacred and on the spot there to locate it in the box and found their way through. So just over the halfway mark of this game number 5, it's exactly what they needed, was that quick answer. Because time's ticking quicker the longer that you stay behind in an elimination game.
Yes, and especially in an elimination game, say that 10 times fast, the clock becomes part of the enemy, and Big Boy from way downtown going to send a rocket to put his team back in the lead, and all of a sudden, Bearlight, the floodgates have opened.
Yeah, the answer that we just credited the Cybercats with, again, the Colts did it just a little bit better, and that's been the motto of this series, it sounds like so far. It seems so far. So the Cybercats, a very strong team. The Colts just happen to be a little bit of a stronger performer when it comes to this high-pressure situation. High-pressure game, high-pressure match, all around. As now Kaipi, though, does a good job to challenge. Icy couldn't get to it. Adrian beat him to it. Good speed defensively from the Colts, as that one was lingering for a while. And it'll be Sacred. Beat to it. Adrian, again, just keeping this offensive pressure. Now a pinch goes high. Icy allowed the chance to jump on it. And the Cybercats, it didn't look pretty, but they were able to break out. And now we'll have an offensive opportunity off the car of Sacred. That pushes back in. It's Lime Wolf able to dig them out again. Right back here to center. Big Boy will try to get to it. Icy now to turn. Has an opportunity. Good slow play. Recognized. And the bump out in front as well, but the shot a little bit wide. But Kaifi with a crazy angle to tie it at 2.
I wasn't sure Kaifi was going to be able to find this angle, but sure enough, he has a protractor taped onto his monitor.
Oh, man.
Finds that low percentage scoring angle and buries it.
Yeah, and the defense, they didn't look too far off either. Instagram using the inside of the goal right there to try and propel forward in order to make a save to cut off that angle. And it didn't look like he did too bad of a job until you saw Kaifi in that tiny window that he was allowed, was able to bury it. So what a shot it was. Whereas the Cybercats, one thing you can definitely say is they have heart to continuously to try and keep up with the Colts here in this series. But they'll need a big save here as well to touch back down. As Astrium was looking for Lime Wolf and was expecting him to jump up as third man to maybe cause a little bit of chaos there from the Cybercats with that redirect. But it will hang out here in front. And the Colts will try to clear, but Kaifi been proving that maybe the substitution was beneficial here. He's been great this game.
I questioned it, but Kaifi, he got on the board. So anytime you're helping your team out in the scoring department, you'll get the nod from me. But it looks like for what could be the second time this series, we might need extra time. Final 10. OT looks likely.
And this 2-2 scoreline always seems to be the case, doesn't it? It's crazy how these two teams defensively always step up. Sure enough, it's extra time here in this game number 5. A chance, 1 goal, and the Colts could propel themselves forward. In this one, the Cybercats had an opportunity, and Tim went off. It was Icy. As now this one will float back to the Colts, who have now been pressured. And in fact, Icy will keep it on. The bounce, the shot wide. And Astrium holds back. Kaifi holding on to it, waiting for that touch, but it's a good one from the Colts as they're able to clear. And Big Boy will keep it there. Lime Wolf shot high. Oh, it should have been there, but Astrium got there. And he'll win it for the Colts in overtime in game number 5.
And the Colts will move on, and who else but Astrium in the final moments to help out the Colts. He's really been the finisher for this team.